Hey, Shalom, Kahala, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Chakadash, the ones that apostles of great millstone that rule well, and Shalom to you brothers in the highways and byways, doing the works of sealing faithfully and continually fighting that good fight of faith, Lord, when we're finding that number to be delivered. And likewise, some of you sisters who truly trust and believe in the name of Yahweh Shai, may he find you worthy as well. All right? And as you see here, bad times. And we read it continually because we're measuring the times diligently, and while we measure these times, we understand that each passing day is going to bring a different type of bad time. All right, now some bad times have already started for people. If you lost your job that you've been at for 20 years, 20 whatever years, and all of a sudden you go from being one of the senior people to not being there at all, and you've built your life, from the results of your job. If you're making six figures at your job and you've been doing that for the past, 10 years, you kind of structure your life around your ability to pay. And when you lose it, you lose your job because you didn't take the jab or whatever, it's over. The bad times have started for a family like that. All right? Just as an example. So without further ado, let's get a couple of scriptures out. This is 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. All right? In the last days, perilous times shall come. We're very close to the end of Esau's world, man. We're close. And once again, each passing day goes by, it's that much closer to Esau being, taken out of power. Right? But prior to him getting taken out of power, there's going to be some bad times, man. Some perilous times. You see? Now, let's just go here real quick. Look up the word perilous. Full of danger or risk. All right? Full of danger or risk. This know first, that in the last days, perilous times shall come. So in other words, dangerous times are coming. Risky times are coming. Now, you may not want to believe it because, you look around and you see that people are just coming and going, shopping, buying. People are doing all these things as the scripture said they were going to do. And you build your sense of security off the actions of non-believers. You see? Building your actions off of non-believers, man. So from here, let's get a couple. Let me let's start here with this clip here. And before I
Good shelves have been a common side effect of the...
I don't own any copyrights to these videos. These videos are just for informational purposes only. Take what you want from it, but it's suiting for the times that we're living in. All right.
Pandemic, but this time anxious shoppers aren't to blame. At Woolworths, some noticeable absentees in the refrigerated section, while at Coles, it's missing meat and a sign of the times. Staff either infected with COVID or deemed close contacts, forced off the job, leaving behind a growing transport backlog and a supply shortage.
Hundreds of thousands of workers that are currently in isolation. That's putting our supply chain under an enormous pressure.
Foodland boss Joseph Romeo estimates a fifth of his company's workforce was absent today.
A lot of staff members are down in the supermarket trade.
Locally owned grocers are in a better position than larger chains, requiring less logistics to transport goods and produce around the state.
We're touching base with all of our growers, processors and manufacturers right now on a daily occurrence.
7 News understands 100 staff at the Woolworths Distribution Centre are currently off the job in isolation. Woolworths says it'll be able to keep up with demand.
All right, so that's enough on that. But basically, you know, it's leading to food shortages. Okay? Food shortages. Now, if you've lost your job and you don't have the means to support or to purchase, you know, these are perilous, these are hard times, these are bad times, these are troublesome times, man. All right, everything is starting to build up. Everything is building up and coming to a head. And this is why we of the hope for the elect, you know, we keep praying to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua that he keeps his Holy Spirit upon us, that we may discern these times, man. That we may understand what's happening. You know, you have people who see these things, but they don't take it in a manner of you know, this is something that's going to continually get worse. They're taking it as, oh yeah, well I watch it, yes, no big deal. You know, I can still go to Walmart and Target and do all these things and buy my groceries, so I'm not concerned. That's the mindset they have. I'm not concerned. All right? This is Mark chapter 13, and starting at 8. It says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows." All right? There's going to be famines and troubles. You know, shortage of food, no food, troubles, loss of job, no money coming in. All right? We're in these phases as we speak. We're in these phases, man. And once again, the person who's still employed isn't really concerned about these scriptures. They're not concerned about the perilous times. They're not concerned about the dangerous times are coming because they're still employed. You see? And when they maintain that employment and maintain that cash flow, you know, the troubles of the world and of other people don't really matter to them. No one's thinking for 1 minute, whoa, this could be me. I could be out of a job right now. And you think you're secure, you know, in Esau's system. There's nothing certain, man. There's nothing concrete when Esau's at the helm, man. There's nothing. 1 minute this devil will tell you, you know, the American economy is doing great, and in the next breath he's telling you, if you don't get the job, you ain't gonna be working. And this is why we're gonna see the uprising of the peoples throughout the world for these troublesome times that are coming, and the troubles that are coming are going to be stemmed from the actions of the people in control. You know, when all of a sudden you lose everything and you can't feed anybody, who are you gonna point the finger at? Those who put these mandates in place. All right. But it says, real quick again, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are all the beginning of sorrows." You know? And if you look around the world, in different countries, and even here in America, the sorrows have already begun. Okay? Let's go from there. Okay, check this out. This is what's up with the gas prices. All right, and once again, this is another key component of the shortage of food. This is another key component because the majority of the food is brought throughout the country by means of trucks and trucking. All right, and as the gas prices raise up, the truckers start to decline. The truckings start to decline. All right, and that's the truth. When you can't afford, when you're driving a vehicle that has, 50-gallon tanks in, 100-gallon tanks, and now, in some places they're gonna be charging $4 and some change for a gallon. That shit's gonna add up quickly. You're gonna end up pulling off away from the pump, having paid, $500 or $600 to fill your tank up. Only get to another state and the gas prices are even higher. You see? So once again, all these things are the beginning of sorrows. All these things are the result of bad times. Okay? It says gas prices are expected to rise due to the truck drivers' shortages. All right? Just a little bit on this article. It says there are more than 1.8 million truck drivers in the U.S., but even so, it is not enough. On Tuesday, the national tank truck carriers raised the alarm. It says, warning that if more people don't start driving trucks soon, the nation might experience fuel shortages and price increases. It says, in a normal year, perhaps 10% of the country's fuel tankers might be idle, but NTTC says that the number is between 20 and 25% in 2021. We've been dealing with a driver shortage for a while, but the pandemic took the issue and metastasized it. I'm having trouble reading this thing. I can't see a damn thing. Some glasses here. It says metastasized it. Ryan Struble, NTTC Executive VP, told CNN. All right. So all that being said, there's a shortage of drivers because the drivers are leaving the field because of the prices of gas is getting too damn high, man. You see? Let me play this real quick. Shortages of truck drivers is behind the fuel delivery delays, says Gas Buddies analyst. A shortage of truck drivers is caused by the fuel deliveries disruptions at some gas stations, according to Gas Buddy Patrick D. Dehan. All right.
Gas prices are at a 7-year high, and there are reports that stations are running out of gas just ahead of the holiday weekend. Our next guest says the problem is tied to the labor shortage. Patrick Dehan, head of petroleum analysis is at Gas Buddy, joins us right now. Patrick, welcome. Good to have you here. How widespread are gasoline shortages across the country? Are they anything like what they were during the Colonial Pipeline hack?
Thankfully, not at all. This situation is vastly different. Americans really getting out there ahead of July 4 and filling their tanks. But as you mentioned, this is a labor challenge. There's no fuel shortage. That is, refineries producing nearly all-time record highs in terms of gallons of gasoline this summer. The problem is getting that gasoline, the last leg of its journey, from a local terminal to the gas station. And we are starting to see some of these delivery delays, I'll call them, because it's very different than the Colonial Pipeline outage. And, all of this really having to do with not enough truck drivers.
Why are there too few truck drivers? Did a significant number of them retire during or after the pandemic, or what?
Well, this has been a brewing problem since 2017, but certainly it was accelerated early on in the pandemic when gasoline demand plummeted. Some companies were letting truckers go, some took early retirement. So a brewing problem made worse by COVID, now bringing it to a head as motorists hit the road this summer.
It's not as easy in this case, I would certainly imagine.
All right, so you get the gist. All right, there's shortages everywhere, man. You know, and a lot of people are out of a job because they chose, to try to be a say-so of their health. If you brothers know what I mean. Okay, if you didn't let them dictate what your health status should be, then you out of a job. So everything is happening, man. All these moving parts, everything is starting to come together. All right? And it may sound, far-fetched, but this is what's supposed to happen. Okay? These are the things that are supposed to go down. Famine, gas prices, housing, as we get to next. All right? And these are all the signs of perilous times, hard times, troublesome times, bad times. It says housing shortage is likely to outlast other pandemics driven scarcities. Okay? So what you have now with housing is the fact that landlords had a hard time kicking people out because of the pandemic. And a lot of these people ended up getting laid off or quit their jobs or are no longer working. So now you have these individuals who are, pretty much so-called grandfathered into the pandemic laws or mandates or whatever, not going anywhere. Some haven't paid a dime in who knows how long, and people out there who are looking can't find anything because there's no vacancies. And this is what you have had in the past past year or so with the housing market. People were buying up everything. And this is a damn near a mirror image of what happened before with the housing market. The banks were giving out all kinds of astronomical loans, and people really couldn't afford these loans. Everybody can afford anything on paper. When you start crunching numbers, everything looks good. Oh, we can do it. We're both working, this and that. It shouldn't be too hard, and we'll have a little money extra left over. No. Everything fits perfect on paper. But when you put the reality to the test, it's a shortfall. It always is, man. So the housing market is one of another troublesome time, because the worst things you can encounter is no food, no job, and no place to live. These are the worst things you can encounter. You see? Didn't mean to go to that one. Outside of that, let's go here. This is let's go to 2 Ezra 15. It says 15:9. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. Why? Because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. Now, you can pretty much say right now it's good times right now. You're living in good times compared to the times that are coming. You see? And when it really starts to get down and dirty, man, these are the things that we're going to see. Nobody having pity for one another. People killing one another. Being hungry and being, homeless, being jobless. is going to put a man in an irrational state of mind. Okay? What does it say? Because of lack of bread. A man's going to kill you because of lack of bread. You see? This is real deal we're talking, man. The scriptures don't lie. And this is why we started off with 2 Timothy's, the 3rd chapter. Read it again. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. All right? Perilous times shall come. Bad times, troublesome times, evil times. And when you find yourself and you're back against the wall, these are the things that you're going to encounter. Open it up. And I started I started 14. And, you know, once again, we read and reread and keep reading the very same scriptures that pertain to the times that we're living in. You know, and this is another reason why a lot of people decide they don't want to hear us, because why? We've been saying the same thing over and over and over and over. Well, this is what a prophet does, man. This is what a prophet does. He's going to tell you the very same thing until it comes to pass, until it happens. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. All right? I want to speak on that. There's going to be sedition among men and invading one another. You know? Just by some of the key tokens of what we went through in this lesson: lack of bread, no housing, no job, okay, no gas. These are things that are going to drive a man to his feet to seek, to find these things. All right? So to the hope for the elect, it's no big surprise. But when this shit starts happening, people are going to lose their mind, because they're going to never be, first of all, they're not prepared to see these things. And when they start to happen, they're going to lose their mind, because they're going to be seeing people who they thought they knew for so long. They were so kind, and they were good people, they were neighbors, acting in a manner as savages, man. It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. All right? And knowing what's going on in the government, the way the government is treating these so-called American citizens, they're treating these citizens of this place as if they're the ones who brought this pandemic to pass, man. So there's going to be sedition among men, invading one another, fighting. All these things are going to start happening. But not only that, but there's going to be dead bodies left in the wake of the actions that men take, man. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see, the course of their actions is going to stand in their power. They're not going to listen to what somebody else has to say. You got it. I want it. I'm coming to get it. That's that mentality. That's that mindset. And if you get in my way, I'm going to see to it that you will no longer ever be in my way. That's the mindset that these men are going to have. Okay? And it's all strategically, spiritually, prophetically coming to pass, man. These things are happening. We see it. And this is why we keep continually speaking on it and prophesying about it, because it's coming, it's happening. We're telling you, not of our own accord, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Now these all, on every level, this is going to take place, man. Starting January 15th here in Boston, you're going to have the proper credentials to get into the city, basically, to move about, to go into certain locations, man. And it's only going to ramp up tenfold when they introduce the jab of the stigmata, if you will. It's going to ramp up tenfold. And that's when the rubber really is going to meet the road. And that's when you're really going to see the singling out of people, because they already got, the division between the vax and the unvax. They already got the division. But when that thing gets implemented, that's it, man. That's it. You're going to see men and women and children identifying all those who don't have it. This is what they're already conditioning you to prepare yourself for, to prepare your mindset. See something, say something, as they tell you. We're coming into some bad times. We're coming into some perilous times. And a lot of you people aren't going to make it, man. You're just not going to make it. Okay? Verse 18. It says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. Their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. There's nothing worse than a man who's afraid. There's nothing worse, man. Especially when you have, you the head of the household, and your young ones and your wife or whatever is looking at you as that hero, he'll protect us. And you over there shaking and trembling in your boots because of the things that are happening around you. Because you were not prepared. You see? And this verse 18, and this is going to be a commonplace thing, man. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right? So get yourself ready, man. Don't dismiss the prophets, man. Don't dismiss the servants of the Lord. Believe the report that we're telling you. Because we're telling it through the Spirit of the Lord. Not because we just decide to wake up one day and open up the Bible and just start talking to you. All right? So the time is coming, man. If you ain't prepared, if you ain't ready, if you ain't taking heed, if you're not listening to sound doctrine, all right, you're going to end up in these bad times, man. You're going to end up in these bad times in a bad situation, as we just read. A man's going to have no pity upon his neighbor. If you think you're going to be able to go across the street and ask somebody for help or to give you a hand or some assistance, they're going to give you a little more than what you're asking for, man. All right? So I'm going to end it with that. We in some bad times, coming into these bad times. We're slowly creeping into the bad times. So much so that you people don't even realize it. You don't realize it, you don't see it. The Lord has blinded you from seeing these terrible, terrible times that we're coming upon, man. So may the hopeful elect, from the head apostles on down, continually be blessed by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai with the eye south to see these things that are coming, And if those who are out there, who truly repent and ask the Lord for mercy and forgiveness, may he give it to you. But we're still under the curses that the Lord has sent up, upon us from back in the days. All right. And this is why the scriptures speak about praying to the Most High without ceasing for the things that you've done in your past life and the things that you're doing now, that he may find you to be worthy and truly faithful. All right. So with that, I'm going to end it right there. Lord willing, brothers are edified, and I see you on another show. I say shalom.